Right now at 5, severe weather is making its way across southern Wisconsin. We'll have the latest on the damage that has been reported.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court is backing the governor. What that decision could mean for the state budget.
And helping families get access to fertility care, the first of its kind program being implemented by UW Health. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 5. Brady is filling in for Eric today. Thank you for your help. And we begin tonight with more alert day conditions.
We have team coverage for a second round of storms hitting southern Wisconsin right now. We have crews in Janesville and in Evansville. But let's start right here with the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is tracking those current conditions. Alex?
Brady, good news is that second round has moved out of southern Wisconsin, but unfortunately we have a third round, one last round that we're keeping an eye on. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but if it does, the potential is there for strong damaging winds and the potential for some large hailstones. We can't rule out the potential for a tornado as well, isolated and brief at that. But here's that second round. Watch here right in the afternoon hours between 2 and 4 o'clock. We had more thunderstorms that popped up over Janesville, over towards Walworth County with briefly radar indicated hail to 1 inch in diameter. And what I'm watching here now is a little boundary. Just watch this here with me. It's very faint. It's coming and settling right here along I-94, and it's starting to pop up a couple of showers over far southeast Dane County, and it's from southeast Dane County over towards Janesville and Monroe that we're keeping a very close eye on the potential that we could see some redevelopment of thunderstorms. So as we put future track into motion, watch as we get towards 5:30, 6 o'clock. Additional thunderstorms popping up along the cold front, rapidly strengthening, and then moving out east quickly towards the Milwaukee metropolitan area. Narrow window of opportunity for these storms. I hope they do not occur. We've had enough severe weather today, but we have to be forthright here and be vigilant in areas towards Monroe, Janesville, up to Jefferson, over towards Elkhorn. One more third round of thunderstorms is a possibility. Keeping a close eye on this visually here at our live Janesville Nissan Skycam as part of our First Warn Weather Cam network. What I'm going to be looking for is to see if we see any clouds building up as that cold front approaches an area that still has humidity, still has some warmth to support those thunderstorms. So that's the not such good stuff. We got some good stuff, a 50-50 weekend, 57 on Saturday, some sun, light winds, that's the good stuff. But then a little bit later in Maine weather, we're going to track a wet weather maker for Easter Sunday. But there's some good part about Easter Sunday. I'll allude and explain that good part to Easter Sunday as well. And I guess we need the water too, and how much water we're going to receive, I'll let you know in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Alex. Let's get to our reporters live in the field. Ellie La Liberté is in Evansville and Tanisha Shaw is in Janesville.
And we will begin in Janesville, where the storms could hit soon, as Alex was just mentioning. Tanisha, is it raining in Janesville yet? You got your hood up. Looks like it.
Hi, Susan and Brady. It's not raining yet, but like Alex said a few hours ago, it was raining and it was pouring down very heavy. I was caught in that. That's why you see I have all this gear on. I'm just preparing for that next round, and I'm in downtown Janesville right now. As you said, well, as you can see, it's very sunny, kind of warm too, but no rain in sight yet. Earlier today, right before that second round of rain, I should say, we had the rain in the morning, and then we caught a lot of heavy rain around the 2 to 4 p.m. hours. So around that day, I did talk to Rock County Dispatch, and they told me that they only responded to one report of damage. We visited that area. We did not see anything. We also talked to the residents in the area, but it was pretty much nothing. But we'll be around here in this Janesville area tracking the next round of storms, seeing what the hail is looking like, and seeing how everything that's going on. I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Susan and Brady.
All right, Tanisha, thank you so much. And let's turn now to Evansville, which saw golf ball-sized hail this morning.
Ellie joins us now from there. Ellie, what are the conditions like there?
Yeah, Brady and Susan, well, one thing people have been telling me is that they've never seen hail like this before. As you said, golf ball sized pieces of hail, and this is what it'll do to a house. If you take a look over here, you can see where that hail hit, basically chipping off pieces of this siding. If you look up, you can see this house is warped. I actually spoke with the homeowner a little bit ago. She took off work today to deal with the damage to her home. She says when she heard the hail this morning, all she could do was hope.
I was hoping that the roof held. I was hoping that the windows held and that nobody was outside at that point in time. I mean, it was about 6:45 in the morning, but I had just been out for a walk half hour prior.
And this damage is something we've seen throughout Evansville today. Cars also taking a large bit of damage. We were at some dealerships earlier and both told me that nearly all of the cars on their lot had sustained some type of damage. We've seen cars tarped over because they were worried about rain getting in because that hail had just pelted the windshield. We'd also seen cars towed away. You'll actually hear from one of the dealerships later tonight at 6, but I'll send it back to you guys now. For now, reporting live in Evansville, Ellie Liberté, News 3 Now.
We will see you at 6, Ellie. Thank you so much. In other news this afternoon, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction will not sign a request from the U.S. Department of Education. It would certify that the DPI will not use federal funds to favor certain groups. State Superintendent Dr. Jill Underly says the Department of Education has been unresponsive to requests for clarifications on its demand and that the process and rules around the certification are vague. The Wisconsin Supreme Court handed down a new ruling on the governor's line item veto. The court ruled in a 4-3 decision that the governor can cross out certain numbers in the state budget. 2 years ago, the governor creatively cut out certain parts of the budget to extend education funding 400 years into the future. We spoke with a UW legal expert about how that power shapes Wisconsin government.
Yes, so a lot of states have this partial veto that allows the governor to strike parts of an appropriations bill, but Wisconsin's is the most powerful in the country. It really allows the governor to selectively edit words, or in this case, digits, to sort of create new law.
State lawmakers have been waiting for this court decision before moving forward on working on the state budget. And based on this decision, we could see lawmakers take extra time in crafting the next 2-year spending plan. You can see more on this decision this Sunday with Will Keneally at 10:30 on For the Record.
Measles is spreading in the U.S. Officials have confirmed more than 800 cases of the disease in 25 states. Texas has by far the most cases, although concentrated outbreaks were also reported in New Mexico and in Oklahoma. The U.S. had declared measles eliminated in 2000. A first-of-its-kind program from UW Health is helping more families get access to fertility care services. There's a growing demand for infertility and reproductive endocrinology care around the country. The first REI Care Fellowship for Wisconsin began in late 2024 at UW Health. Doctors say when people think of REI care, the main thing that comes to mind is IVF.
Only a small percentage of women or couples need IVF because women may not necessarily be due to the women. So it's a very broad specialty, and IVF is only a small part of what we do, but a very important part of what we do.
This fellowship is one of only 52 in the country, taking an extra step to train doctors in this specialty area.
The News 3 Now Community Baby Shower is back. We're partnering with Madison's nonprofit Babies and Beyond to help hundreds of families. Today is the last day you can drop off baby and toddler essentials at 1922 South Stoughton Road. The donation center is in the back of the building. It's open from 9 until 4, so it just closed a little while ago. But some of the most wanted items include diapers, pull-ups, baby wipes, and formula. You can find those items and more by clicking the link at the top of channel3000.com. We'd also like to thank Viridian Homes and Dave Jones for sponsoring the baby shower.
And we're less than a week away from the start of the NFL draft, and the Packers' offensive lineup is in flux. 3 out of the 5 projected opening day starters, left tackle Rasheed Walker, right guard Sean Ryan, and right tackle Zach Tom, are all entering the final year of their rookie contracts. At the moment, they are eligible for extensions, but all 3 could walk in unrestricted free agency next offseason. And the Packers drafted an offensive lineman last year. So would they pick one again? We sat down with our Packers contributor, Jason Wilde, to see if that's a possibility.
They drafted Jordan Morgan in the first round last year out of Arizona. They're picking around the same area this year. They're the 23rd pick. Back in 2010, they drafted an Iowa offensive lineman at number 23 named Brian Bulaga. And then in 2011, they drafted another offensive lineman. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
And if you look back at General Manager Brian Gutekunst's track record, he's taken 3 linemen in 4 of the last 5 drafts. If he can add a couple more selections to the 8 he currently holds, Wilde says to not be surprised if he takes a couple more linemen this year. And don't forget, News 3 Now will be talking about the NFL draft in Wisconsin all this week and next. In addition to Jason Wilde, Eric Franke will be joining sports director Zach Hanley and Andrew Banstra for our coverage. They'll have the sights, sounds, and strategy leading up to next week's first-round picks.
Coming up tonight at 5, there is a growing memorial on the campus of Florida State University after the nation's latest mass shooting.
And the U.S. could soon walk away from peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Why the Trump administration says progress is not being made. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Classes remain canceled at Florida State University after the nation's latest mass shooting.
2 people were killed and 6 others injured after a gunman opened fire on campus. The 6 victims were taken to Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare with wounds to the chest and abdomen. FSU students and faculty grappling with the tragedy have been coming together to comfort one another and to place flowers and mementos at a growing memorial.
Everybody's still in shock of what happened. It was obviously a very devastating time yesterday.
Police identified the suspect as 20-year-old Phoenix Ickner, an FSU student and stepson of a local sheriff's deputy. Authorities say one of the weapons he used in the attack was his stepmother's former service weapon, which she legally purchased as a personal handgun.
The Trump administration says it's prepared to walk away from peace talks with Russia and Ukraine if both sides don't make progress soon.
Erica Brown has more from the White House.
President Trump says time is running out for Ukraine and Russia to reach a deal to end their war.
No specific number of days, but quickly.
During a meeting with European allies, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. is preparing to walk away from diplomacy talks unless progress is made in the coming days.
We've reached a point where we have other things we have to focus on. We're prepared to be engaged in this as long as it takes, but not indefinitely, not without progress.
Trump laid out what he wants to see when talks resume next week.
My whole life has been one big negotiation, and I know when people are playing us, and I know when they're not, and I have to see an enthusiasm to want to end it.
President Trump was also asked about reports that 2 Venezuelan men detained in Texas have been told they will be deported under the Alien Enemies Act, a wartime law the administration invoked for swift deportations without due process.
I don't know about the group you're talking about, but if they're bad people, I would certainly authorize it, yeah.
The White House continues to defend its deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, releasing this image of him from a 2022 traffic stop with 8 other people in a vehicle, saying it raises concerns about human trafficking. Abrego Garcia's wife responded, saying her husband was not cited or charged with a crime and should be here to defend himself, not in a Salvadoran prison. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
And back here in Wisconsin, alert day conditions are moving through parts of southern Wisconsin.
Here's Alex with the latest. Hi, Alex.
Hey there. We've got about 3 more hours here, 2 to 3 more hours of a window of opportunity for the potential for yet one more round of severe thunderstorms for parts of southern Wisconsin. If we get any more thunderstorms that are severe, strong winds and hail would be the main risk. We cannot rule out an isolated tornado given the atmosphere that we have out there priming up yet for potentially, again, one more round of storms across the area. So as we take a look here at radar 3000, what I'm watching, there goes those storms that produce severe thunderstorm warnings around 3:30 in the afternoon. Now we have a little boundary. It's very faint. It's just south of I-94. It's settling to the south. This is a cool outflow. We even have a couple showers trying to pop up on it that is going to intersect an area of warmer and more humid air down towards the Monroe, over towards Janesville, over towards Elkhorn. It's those areas, Monroe, Janesville, Elkhorn, that stand the best chance for for possibly seeing some redevelopment. Let's watch this. 5:30, a couple thunderstorms. There they go, popping up by Janesville, strengthening as they head over towards Milwaukee. It's that small window in that part of southern Wisconsin that stands the best chance for seeing that redevelopment of storms. Meteorologist Blaze Keller and I are keeping a very, very close eye on that. Another reason why, as you look from Mineral Point to Platteville and Monroe, you see kind of this puffy cumulus cloud action. This is actually sun now making it to the ground. That's heating up the environment. And there we just got an update. It's moving east into this environment that's cloudy right now. That provides the fuel, that provides the energy. All this yellow you see here is high atmospheric energy, fuel for additional thunderstorms. We hope they don't form, but we're also keeping a live look. Sometimes just a picture is all you need as you look at potential for clouds building up into showers and thunderstorms that could become severe very quickly in Janesville. You are one of those folks that we're keeping a very close eye on. Plethora of warnings. We started talking about this last night on my Facebook and on Channel 3000's Facebook. Watch out. Friday morning, we could have a series of hail events across southern Wisconsin, and boy, did that verify from west to east across the area. How did this all form? Strong updraft takes raindrops, blows them high up into the thunderstorm. If the thunderstorm is rotating or the updraft is really strong, those raindrops freeze and then they blow back up into the cool air. They freeze again and they freeze again until they get so heavy that they fall down to the ground. And boy, did we see some hailstones that were of incredible size across southern Wisconsin. Not common by any way, shape, or form. All right, let's head to the weekend. Got to fast forward and talk about that. 57 on Saturday, 51 on Sunday. Good chance of rain on Easter Sunday. But a little good news, as I mentioned earlier, that rain maybe not making it into the area till the late afternoon hours, early evening hours. So the morning hours, brunch, if you're heading to services or maybe an Easter egg hunt, you might be able to sneak that in. Of course, I will be here Easter Sunday morning. We've got Jacob tomorrow morning and Blaze tomorrow night, keeping an eye on this weather system. Strong winds out of the east, lot of rain Sunday night going on into Monday, maybe a couple of claps of thunder. But we'll take this rain because we need the rain. We still have drought conditions right along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. The weather system finally exits as we go into Monday, and after upwards of 1 to 1.5 inches of water, the forecast is not looking too terribly bad. Temperatures upper 60s even as we head towards the NFL draft Thursday. Pretty beautiful conditions, and I think we deserve it after what we've experienced here in southern Wisconsin the past 24 hours.
So thank you, Alex. After the break, two dads searched to save their adopted daughter's life. Why they didn't have to go too far to find her second chance.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
When some local dads brought their baby girl home, they had no idea they'd end up back in the hospital.
Sean and Steve Isles adopted their daughter, Ellie, and they soon learned she needed more than just a loving home. The search to save her life began, and the solution was somewhere her parents never expected.
Despite her best efforts...
You gonna walk? That would be pretty cool.
Ellie Isles is still working her way up to baby steps. But her dads are in no rush.
She's nonstop.
They'll always welcome any chance to just slow down and savor the moments when they can sit and play with their daughter.
Shake, shake, shake.
Sean and Steve Isles adopted their little girl a year ago. There's no question about how much they love their 16-month-old. Steve always wanted kids, but Sean will admit there was a time he wasn't actually sure he wanted to be a dad.
Children was never in my life plan. I just never saw myself with kids.
It didn't take much for him to open his eyes.
She is the queen bee in this household, that is for sure.
Sadly, Ellie's reign was almost short-lived.
We thought we had a healthy baby for the first 4 months. She had some yellowing of her eyes and she was throwing up and some other things. And that's when they told us at her checkup to get right to the emergency room.
They found out their newborn baby needed a liver transplant.
She was really very sick.
They got Ellie on the transplant list, but the clock was ticking.
For the children under a year of age who are waiting for transplant, the waiting list mortality is higher than for anybody else.
Getting a match for a full liver would be tricky because Ellie would need another baby's liver that could fit into her small body. The other option was to find a living donor. Since the liver can regenerate, an adult could give her a piece of their liver and be just fine.
It'll never regenerate to what it was, but it will regenerate to what it needs to be.
Steve and other family members weren't matches. At 6 feet tall, Sean, the man who wasn't sure he wanted kids, was positive he would not be a good match for his baby daughter. It turns out he was.
I became a match to be a living donor.
And I think both of us almost passed out when we heard that.
I was like, oh, well, this is my purpose on life.
Both Sean and Ellie went under the knife in August for a successful liver transplant. Since then, she's made some major steps. Pretty good for a girl who can't even walk yet.
She's just thriving, and it's so wonderful to see.
Out of all the dads in the world, Ellie found her perfect match.
This is family, right? I think people have a different definition of what they think that is, but I mean, this is family, this is love, and I hope people can see that.
For Steve and Sean Isles, it was an easy decision to give a piece of liver to Ellie, the little girl who had already stolen their hearts.
I don't see it as saving her. I happened to be there and my liver worked. Any parent would give up any part of their body to have their child live a full and healthy life.
Ellie's a star. Isn't she cute?
Beautiful.
She initially had some rejection issues right after her transplant, but thankfully that cleared up and she bounced back. She's doing very well, as you can see, and the goal is for the liver to grow and function as she gets older. And I have a fun update for everyone. This week, Ellie took her first steps on her own. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she's thriving. Well, we'll be right back with a final check of the weather when we come back. Well, we've had a busy Friday, and we're not done yet.
No, I don't think we're fully out of the woods yet, southern Wisconsin, especially if your community is Monroe, Janesville, over towards Elkhorn. As we look at radar 3000 right now, look at west of Monroe, a couple of little, what looks like some showers west of Monroe. We're going to keep a close eye on those as we go into the 6 o'clock hour. They could blossom into our last round of storms.
You guys are doing a great job, Alex.
Thank
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you.